Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am back to do another day in hashtag ABC April 2026, and this is for the letter T. And as a reminder, this is the collaboration with Crafty by Tony and Seven Plaza. You can go to their Ko-Fi channels and get this printout if you want to join in. Even if you're catching it at the end of the month and haven't done all the days, you can still join in. If you don't get it done in April, carry it on into May. But have some fun with it if you want to. Alright, so for the letter T, I am doing tip-in and tuck spots. And I'm working in the folio journal that we started on Monday. Was it Monday? No, it was on Tuesday for the letter R. And we did repurpose, and we repurposed a file folder like this one. This one's a little bit different. It has the craft color on the inside. So that's what we're working in. And I did a little bit of prep work. I wanted to, these are the digitals that I'm using from Sweetpea Curiosities. This is my design team project for Sweetpea Curiosities. I forgot to mention that. Alright, so I did a little bit of prep work. I did some mats to go in the back because I need to sturdy up these this paper here, and plus add a little bit of decoration. And these are digital prints from Sweetpea Curiosities from her Ko-Fi shop. It's her public domain sets. I don't know which set they come from, but these two come from that. I just printed them two to a page. And then also this print that I'm going to use for my tip-in is printed front and back, and this also come from her public domain kits. So go check those out. They're pretty cool. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down, and then we'll work on the tip-in part, this folio. Alright, so we're going to glue that down. Try to get it smoothed down. It's a little difficult with my pocket on the back. It would have been smarter to wait to do that till last, but it's okay. We'll make do. All right, so we got that laid down, and the next thing I'm going to do is the tip-in. And I kept this little flap open because I thought I wanted to use it as a tip-in or a tuck spot or something. So I've already cut this piece of paper down to fit underneath here, and I'm not putting a whole lot of bulk on this side of the book. There'll be more flips and flaps on the right side, but not as much over here because I don't have a whole lot of room to play around with over here. And I don't want to make it too bulky to where it doesn't close. So we need to put our tip-in over here, but first what we're going to do is I need to put some magnets underneath this side over here before I glue this down. That way, let me ink this while I'm talking. That way we'll have a closure for our folio. I hope it works out the way I want it to. Get this inked up, and then we'll get this, we'll get our magnets down, and then get this glued in. And I appreciate you following along with this folio. I know doing multiple videos, just from what I understand from other creators, doing multiple videos on the same folio or journal or whatever is not a very good idea, but that's what I'm doing, so I guess we're just gonna roll with it. All right, let me grab some magnets. I'm going to use some good size magnets just in case I get too much bulk in here and we need some reinforcements, which is a pretty good chance that I will do that, just because that's just what I tend to do. I tend to go a little overboard. I'm going to use these size magnets that just come in a pack of magnets that I got off of Amazon. So I'm going to put 2 on this side and then 2 on this side underneath this flap, or it'll be on the top underneath this flap here. It'll be underneath over here and on the top over here. So I'm just going to glue these down over here, and then I'll cover them with washi tape, because I am going to leave this, I am going to glue this just on the top and the bottom and leave it as a tuck spot. For now, I may not end up using it. If I don't end up using it, then I'll glue it down. But I don't want to lose that opportunity if I have to. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to do a magnet here and kind of in the same spot on the bottom. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this in. I did score this down at the bottom where I could flip it up and make a pocket. So there will be a pocket. I'm trying to decide, do I want this side of the paper or do I want this side of the paper? I think I want this side of the paper. So let's fold that back the other direction. The plan is to keep the flips and flaps and stuff pretty neutral, and then kind of go a little more colorful, maybe with the, because the digitals that I'm using have a little more color, and then but I think a lot of the pictures and ephemera and everything that goes with the kit is a little more neutral. So we'll get a little bit of color in, but it won't be like outrageous. Alright, so we're going to glue this in, and I'm only going to glue it on the top and at the bottom, and that way it'll be a flip out. I'll pull this a little closer to me where I can see what I'm doing. Make sure I get everything lined up and glued the way I want it. Hold that for just a second and make sure that that glues down. Magnets add a little more bulk than what I like, but trying to find, I wish I could find strong magnets that weren't so thick, but so far I have not been lucky enough. I think I may, instead of making this one big pocket, I could kind of already got a line there in the middle. I could put glue down here, down through the middle, and that way it'll be 2 pockets versus 1, and that'll hold that middle down, because I don't know if you can tell that that's kind of like puffing up there. So let's see if we can figure out the middle of this. Oh, metal ruler sticking to the magnets. So it's like 8.5 inches. So we need to, I'll put a mark at 4 1/4, which is right there. So we'll put glue there, and then we'll have 2 pockets. Yeah. I'm just gonna put glue like right down the middle here. We'll just hold that and let that settle in. Oh, coming loose at the top here. Let's put a paper clip on there, and that'll hold that down for a minute. Alright, I have my mat over here on this side, and I've got it paper clipped at the bottom in case I want to put some flaps or something underneath it. I haven't glued that side down. But the next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to put, like I said, I'm not going to add a whole lot of bulk on this side. I just made a scrappy notepad out of some of my coffee dyed paper. And I just took it to my sewing machine and just did a zigzag stitch across the top just to hold it together. So I'm going to put that on the inside there. And we can take that off now. Hopefully we're safe. Yeah, I think so. I think I need to glue. I need to glue underneath here, though. I don't know what I was thinking. I do need to glue underneath here, just to keep that laid down. There's no need for it to, the back side of that to be open. Oh, did my glue even come out? Give that a squeeze. Alright, there we go. Alright, so underneath here on this side, I wanted to put this scrappy notepad. I don't want to attach it permanently. That way you will be able to use the journal again. So the idea is to put a couple eyelets in here in the back, and it'll go through underneath the flap on the pocket on the front. It'll go in here. And then poke some holes, put some eyelets in here. And then we can tie with some, I got some jute string somewhere. Some jute string. That's the idea. But we could also just do it with brads and make life simple. Plus it won't add as much bulk as maybe using string and eyelets will. Alright, let's do it with brads just for time and efficiency here. And then we can always go back and do eyelets later if we want to, because we'll already have the holes there, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Alright, so I'm going to get my I found my pokey tool. Lift my flap up here where I don't poke holes through it. And then figure out where I want to put. This is just a little pink foam pad. Put it underneath there for something to poke into. Just kind of center that and get it kind of at the top, close to the top anyway. And poke a hole there. And kind of right there. Hopefully. Hopefully. And you can still take the brads out. Oops. I'll make my hole a little bigger. Trying to make this as neat as possible on the back side here, since it's inside our pocket here. We may come back and cover that with something later, but if not, we just want to make it look neat. Alright, so that's got our little scrappy notepad in there, so there's that. And then we've got our pocket with a couple of tuck spots, or I said pocket, our flap with a couple of tuck spots. We got a tuck spot there and a tuck spot there, and then we got a pocket here on the inside. So I think that's all we're going to do for tonight, and then we will work on this tomorrow night. I'm going to go ahead and put the magnets on this side, and then the idea is for it to close up like that, and then the magnets will attach to each other, and it will close just like that. So that's all for this evening. We'll continue to work on this tomorrow night. I have, or Friday for the letter U. I have no idea what I'm going to do for the letter U, but I will figure something out. If you have any suggestions for me, just leave them down in the comments. And I appreciate y'all being here. If you wouldn't mind, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video out if you think someone else might get some enjoyment out of it. And I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, y'all.